Hey everyone, welcome, welcome everyone. Come on in. This is a special Lev Remembers Live. We have a lot to go over, a lot of breaking news, a lot of insider updates, and I'm going to update you on the campaign. Just 1 second. Good morning, everybody coming in. Just I'm handling a lot of stuff at the same time, so just bear with me. Come on in, guys. Laura, Farah. Welcome, welcome everyone. I hope you guys are having a good morning. I know there's a lot to go on. There's a lot to uncover, and we're gonna jump into it. Uh, I know. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Karen, Kimmers, Bradford, Winterfresh. Good morning. Hey, Cheech. Everybody, come on in, guys. Karma, I love Karma. Karma. Good morning, Deborah, Karen, Smokey Joe in the house. The Wolf Pack is all here. I see Laura, uh, Terralix. Everybody, come on in, guys. Uh, uh, I'm going to start off with first of all. I want to start off by thanking each and every one of you for all the incredible support. I've been receiving the DMs, the messages, the incredible just going on the different shows, watching you. Oh, Farah's wearing a Wolfpack shirt today. I love it. And by the way, guys, we're going to have we're just starting with the campaign. So I'm going to have a lot of updates. We're going to have a lot of cool stuff. This is not a regular campaign. This is a campaign we're going to run just like I've ran this platform, Lev Remembers. It's going to be unorthodox. It's going to be truth, powerful, and it's going to include all of you because it's a grassroots movement. So we're going to enjoy our run. This is going to be a fun victory, not just, hard work. It's going to entitle a lot of hard work, but it's definitely, what's it called, go to be fun. Betsy, I'm going to update everybody about the campaign, donations, everything. So just come on in, and I'm going to try to, because we have a lot to unpack. Plus, I have a group call with my team, I think at 12:30. So I have about an hour to share a lot of stuff with you guys. So, like I said, first of all, thank you for all the outreach. Second of all, I want to do a little updates. So when it comes to the campaign, I want to make it very clear because I know Lev remembers we did a lot of things here, and a lot of things are going to continue. A lot of things are going to change. So a lot's going to change. All of it's going to be for the better. But I want to clear things up because I know a lot of things, a lot of people are not exactly. We have people from all over the world here that are our subscribers, and I have to make sure that because we have certain rules and laws when it comes to the campaign, and I want to also clear up, the GoFundMe's and everything else. So, first of all the Voice from Ukraine stuff. All of those GoFundMe's have nothing to do with me. I do not, those GoFundMe's are set up directly with Alexander, and Alexander's kids set them up. And I am just basically facilitating and being a voice for the people of Ukraine. And I was helping facilitate, and I will continue being a voice for the people of Ukraine. I will continue helping Alexander. He is not only my family, but Ukraine is dear to me. So nothing is going to change there except for that I am not going to be able to give updates as I usually did. But like I said, we are going to find somebody else to work with. What's it called? Phil Eitner, Cheech. I don't know what happened to Phil. I thought, as far as I knew, everything was good. But I'll check in to make sure if he's all good. I'll make sure. But I didn't hear anything. So I just want to make sure to give you guys some updates. Who can do, who can't do, what. So first of all, the campaign donations, and if somebody could put them in the what's it called chat, I want you to make sure it's levparnas.org. That's simple. Levparnas.org. That is the only place where you could go contribute to the campaign. That is the only place that we are raising money for. There's no. I have no other GoFundMe set up. Everything else should be closed. There should be no other things. Now, as far as the campaign goes, it's very very important. it only you can only contribute to the campaign if you are an American citizen, if you are a legal American citizen. You and I. So everybody that is in Canada or all over the world, I want to say first of all, I love you guys and thank you for your wanting to help and contribute. But there is a way you can help and contribute, and that is to me personally, and that is to this Substack platform here, because this is my business. So that's why I want to explain to you the difference. So there's different when you run for Congress, you still have a job. You know, you could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, you could be a farmer. Doesn't matter what it is. So this is my job. This platform is my life and my job, and basically something that we've built together over the past 10 months together. That is something that allowed me to not only be able to have a huge voice together with you to be able to speak truth to power and get all of this information out, but also has enabled me to do this full time because of your incredible support and by becoming paid subscribers. By becoming paid subscribers, that has nothing to do with that campaign. Paid subscribers, that is strictly towards me, to my family, and to my business. So basically, that is why I want to make it very clear. You could contribute excuse me, the GoFundMe. You could contribute to the campaign if you're an American citizen, and then I ask you, if you're not, if you're a U.S. citizen living abroad and you vote, yes, you definitely could donate, even if you're living abroad, as long as you're a U.S. citizen, Donna, you could definitely, and I encourage and I ask you. So I ask every U.S. citizen around the country, around the world, around everywhere, not just in Florida, District 27, to be able to contribute to levparnas.org. Because as you guys know, we're running a grassroots movement. I promise you, I'm not going to take money from no super PACs, no special interests, no big corporations. We're going to do it just like we did this platform. Each and every one of us, we're going to do it with facts, with truth, and we're making sure, to be able to destroy their corruption that they've put together. Thank you so much, Donna. So that's first of all. I want to make sure for everybody else that cannot donate, and for those that can donate and still want to support me and this platform, I encourage you and I ask of you, because it's extremely important, because I have no other job. I'm not going to do anything else. My main mission in life is to be able to save our democracy. And by having this incredible platform where we have built together, and by your support by becoming paid subscribers, I'm able to just focus and do all of that. Now, with that said, I want to also make it clear that I am not going to stop my Substack business. I will be here giving you inside reports, giving you even more specials. I'm actually trying to figure out a way, and I'm speaking to my compliance department of I want to run my campaign open to the people. I want to run my campaign literally. I know it sounds crazy, but I want to do basically the first ever reality campaign. I want the cameras everywhere I go. I want the people to see what's going on. I want all the corruption to stop. I want all the backdoor dealings to stop. And it doesn't matter left, right, independent, in the middle, or whatever you choose from, or whatever nation you come from, or whatever religion you are. The one thing that we all should care about is truth, and truth matters, facts matter. So this is what our campaign, just like our platform's about. So that is what I'm trying to put together all together, because as you know, we have a lot of bumps in the road, and we'll get to Act Blue, and we'll get to all of that stuff. But at the same time, we have some incredible support and some incredible stuff happening. Remember, it's only been 4 or 5 days since we've announced. The fundraising is going great. We have kinks we're working out. But I just want to say to you that continue doing what you're doing, because remember one thing. In this race, just like in 27, just like across the whole country, we're going to have the midterms are coming up. I'm going to talk to you about something important, the breaking news, and why we're having this special also, because of what the media is not talking about, is what Trump is trying to stop, is this midterms. But assuming that we will have a midterms, assuming that we will be able to have our vote, assuming we will be able to, because we have to live and assume that is going to happen, because that is why we're sounding the alarms, and that is why we're, risking and talking about what we're talking about, and telling you what I'm telling you, is because I believe that by exposing what they're trying to do now and they're trying to cover up will allow us to be able to have free and fair elections. Once we have that, that's only the beginning, folks. Then we have to once we get into the take over the House and the Senate, then there has to be accountability. Then there has to be, again, getting things back to normal. There's nobody in any of these races that knows any of these people. Forget about even Donald Trump, but any of his administration like I do. Not only do I know them because I was around them, but I was one of them. I lived inside of them. So I was part of making it. So that's why I want to make it very clear that that's why our campaign is totally different. Our campaign, I might be running in Florida's 27th district, but I'm running for each and every American voice out there and each and every patriot out there. And, in reality, each and every one of you all over the world that's trying to, because what's happening now with the wars, is everything reflects. So I want to make it very clear. And for those of you that are joining late, I'm gonna, you guys could start watch this from the beginning and send it to everybody. But I want to clarify again: there is no GoFundmes. I'm that set up. There are no. What's it called? Other avenues of donating. The only thing I ask of you guys is two things. A is to contribute if you can, if you're able to legally contribute to our campaign and spread the message to anybody you know. And that's at levparnas.org. That is the number one mission. And you're gonna get tired of me saying it, and I apologize, folks. And I'm telling you in advance. But for the next 6 months until we take over the House, until I get going to Washington representing you guys, I'm going. One thing you're going to hear a lot of, and I need you guys to be the same. My voice and loud of is one thing we're going to need, and I'm going to be honest with you, is money, because if I wanted to run as an independent, if I wanted to run and take super PAC money, and believe me, there's a lot of people that are begging me to do that. There's a lot of people that are throwing money and saying to me, go represent our beliefs. That's not going to happen. And I want to keep making it clear. And that's why you're going to hear a lot of me keep saying that I need you to contribute, even if you contributed. If you can, contribute again. And if you can't, send to somebody that might be able to contribute. But this, for the next 6 months, every single day, the number one thing, just like I ask you to spread the message, I want you to now, with the message that I'm going to be giving you, you need to also spread the contribution, because I want you. Is there an avenue for? Yes, Meg, we are still going to have the GoFundMe's for Ukraine, Alexander. So nothing is going to change, guys. And I'm going to get you all the information. I just want to make it clarified that you understand, because we had, Voice from Ukraine, we had Lev Remembers, we had my personal stuff. But now that I'm running a actual campaign, things have to be, there has to be compliance, and and that's why I want to make sure and clear to everybody. Again, for those of you that are joining us late, all the Voice from Ukraine GoFundMe's are set up by Alexander and his kids. I help facilitate the news and being their voice, and I will continue doing that, and we will make sure, and nothing is going to change there. We are going to continue contributing, donating, and supporting. It has nothing to do with our campaign. That is just a thing that here at our platform to support the people of Ukraine. That's not going to change. It's going to stay the same. I'm just not going to be able to be speaking as much about it, but I'll be doing a lot more, because hopefully in Washington, D.C. now my voice is going to be a lot stronger for the people of Ukraine to be able to stop the war and be able to get them the help that they need. So that's going to continue. I want to make it clear. As far as my campaign, there's no GoFundMe, no Venmos, no nothing. It's only levparnas.org. For all of you that can, please, levparnas.org. And for everybody else, this includes everybody, to support me. This is my home. Lev Remembers is going to be I'm going to be with you here. I'm going to be giving you incredible content. I'm going to be doing things that nobody's ever done before. I'm putting it together. So please, if you can, become paid subscribers, and everybody could do that, because that amplifies our message. That amplifies what we're all that we're doing, and it'll also help us get into the White House. So I hope that clarified a lot of questions. If you have some questions still, please, email me at levpttp@proton.me. No question is a bad question. Email us, and we'll make sure to go get you answers on everything. But I hope that cleared that up. But now let's get into some stuff, because we have a lot that I want to go over with you. First of all, I want to shout out to our whole Wolfpack team, Zev Shalev, Ellie, Kate Justice, everybody. My son broke some major news today. I don't know if he broke it or somebody else, but he called me and told me, Dad, that they're actually, and I looked at earlier, they started in New Mexico, digging up and going through Zorro Ranch. Zorro Ranch, this is the first actual investigation into the Epstein files. I want to make sure, because with everything going on in the war, one thing we're not forgetting here is the survivors, like I told you, no matter what. And that's why I'm running for Congress and make sure that our voices are even louder, to stand by Congressman Rokana and Massey, give them an extra vote, make sure that the survivors have somebody there out there. So Zorro Ranch is finally, it's happening, folks. And it's all because of us here. It's because of the Wolf Pack, because of all the power. We uncovered it. We sent it to Congress. Congress did their job. And today they're actually working on it. So that's great news. I'm going to keep you updated. And we got a lot of stuff when it comes to the Epstein. Ellie's working behind us, and Zev. We have financial stuff that's going to be coming out with Howard Lutnick. We have also some incredible reporting now coming out. If you remember, I told you guys some story time with Lev that when I was in prison, we had that one of the inmates that was serving time with me happened to be cleaning up in MDC while Epstein was there. And he told me a story about how after his death, they cleared everybody out, brought them food, McDonald's or something, I don't remember exactly. And he was telling me that he didn't believe that Epstein committed suicide. It looked like from the chatter inside prison that that they took him out. Now, again, not factual. This is just what I heard from an inmate that was serving time with me in prison. But now you fast forward it to stuff that's coming out that Ellie and everybody's uncovering. If you see, all of a sudden in the Epstein files, we're starting to see that there was another inmate wrote a report saying that he heard guards. So there's a lot going on and a lot to uncover. And yes, Cindy, Bill Barr is the name that everybody keeps skipping. But I promise you, I will not forget. Lev remembers. Remember, we do not forget. That's why I need to get into Congress, because there's a lot of people like Bill Barr and others. They're still, they're slipping through the holes, but we're not going to allow them to. We're going to hold their feet to the fire and hold their accountability and make sure that that there's accountability to all of them. So I want to say great work. Shout out to our Wolfpack. Continue doing it. Remember, Wolfpack, each and every one of you. So, oh, by the way, also another way you could definitely help me out personally and also help enjoy and have some fun is always go to levremembers.com. At levremembers.com, you could grab your Wolfpack gear. You could get your Enough is Enough gear. We're also going to have campaign gear, which is going to have nothing to do with this, separate. But for now, if you want to represent the Wolfpack, I know a lot of you have been sending me pictures, incredible. We're only getting bigger because remember, the Wolfpack is each and every one of you. We're all the Wolfpack that wants, and the truth has teeth. So go to levremembers.com if you can, and also make sure if you haven't yet, get your book. I think we have a few left like I said, I'm going to be stopping selling them through Amazon. So because of that, there might be a little delay, but we still have some left. So make sure, definitely, if you haven't, get your book because they're going fast, and that's at levremembers.com. But talking about besides the Epstein files, the other thing that I want to mention to you before we get into the major stuff is that a lot today, some of the breaking news and some of the stuff that I'm hearing from some of my sources overseas in Ukraine and in Eastern Europe is that even though Donald Trump's coming out and you're seeing a lot of conflicting reports, the one thing that we need to be vigilant, and I ask each and every one of you to be careful, and because what I'm hearing is that there are, I know there's been some reporting on it, but I'm hearing that it's heating up, sleeper cells here in the United States. Donald Trump basically kicked over a hornet's nest. He started a war that should never have been started. Again, that doesn't mean that the Ayatollah was good people. That doesn't mean that Iran were not trying to build a nuclear weapon. It doesn't mean that Iran was not trying to chant death to America. It means none of that. but both things could be right at the same time. The fact, the timing, the way the war was started, what's going on. Not only are we losing our American kids, servicemen, the one thing Donald Trump ran for, the one thing that all of the United States said enough is enough, is we don't want to see our kids go die in the war for money or a useless war. And he's doing that just exactly all over again. Even worse, folks, even worse. So I want to make it, I want to tell you guys, be very careful, be very vigilant. That doesn't mean stop living. Do not let them, nobody win, but be sir, because what I'm hearing is that Iran has not even asserted a lot of the sleeper cells. This war is just beginning, because remember what happened in Iraq. We're dealing with organizations and sleeper cells all over the world. These are people that live this every day for years, since the day they're born. And you need to understand, it's hard for us and a lot of people to understand to what degree they're going to go. And that's why, with Donald Trump coming out making these statements, this is a different type of a war. This is very dangerous, not only to the world economy. Just think about, travel has stopped. Yeah, the tourism has stopped. Oil prices are running. We're going to get into all of that. The economy, gas prices, all of this, and it's all. And in the meantime, who is actually winning? Just think about it. Right now, Vladimir Putin is making a shitload of money, and refurbishing their war chest. Where else? Think about it. Donald Trump, just right before he started this, what did he do? He took over Venezuela. But he didn't take over Venezuela. He went partners with what Donald Trump and his administration has called a narco-terrorist regime. He got rid of the head, but he left the whole narco-terrorist regime, and now he is in partners. He literally, says that he's partners with Delcy Rodriguez, and they're selling the oil. So this is, who is profiting. Everybody else right now is suffering. The other thing I want to talk about that happened yesterday, and a lot of people are not mentioning, but extremely important, and I keep talking about, we talk about follow the money. This is one of the other things I need to get into Congress, the quicker the better, to expose all of these things that are going on, because what you saw yesterday Donald Trump do is pure market manipulation. Pure market manipulation. And this is not the first time he's done it, not the first time we've spoken about it. If you take a look at previously when he did the tariffs, what he's doing here. Remember when the tariffs, he came out right before the market to open up and said today is a good day to go buy stock. And all of a sudden he came out and made an announcement about tariffs, and all of a sudden the market ran the highest in one day. Well, think about what happened yesterday. What I want you to understand is the White House is in a panic. They do not know what to say. They did not expect this. They did not have a contingency plan when it came to. They thought they're going in and out. This is the way these people think. They don't think that they're not. They thought they're the most powerful. They're the most strong. They're going to go in there. They're going to take out the Ayatollah and his people. Everybody's going to put their guards down. Trump's going to come out and say, "Here is peace in the Middle East," and that was portrayed to him by Vladimir Putin, portrayed to him by Bibi Netanyahu and others, that basically, because Trump has no idea what he got America, what he got the world, and what he got all of us into. So besides the sleeper cells, the market manipulation yesterday is tremendous, because just think about how many Americans lost money. How many individuals, regular Americans, lost money with the way the market ran? And what did Donald Trump do? As soon as they panicked, he came out, because he's the biggest corrupt market manipulator in the world. He knows how to play the game, and he has the best around him. Think of who he has by his right hand is Howard Lutnick. Howard Lutnick, we've been reporting it for years. He's been running Cantor Fitzgerald. He is Mr. Wall Street. He knows, we're talking about all the scams that he's been pulling, and we're uncovering with Epstein and all of the things he's been doing with this Cantor Fitzgerald fund and everything. So now, all of a sudden, they panicked because oil was at $120 a barrel. They panicked because the market was getting crushed. So he comes out and all of a sudden makes an announcement trying to say that the war is going to end a lot quicker. And on that, what did you see happen right away? All of a sudden, oil. But think of the shifts. This is what people don't understand. I used to work on Wall Street. I used to have a brokerage firm, and a lot of people don't understand the fact that you see oil go from 90 to 120 to then to 100. That is crazy. That means so much people lost money. I can't even explain to you. But at the same time, that means somebody made a lot of money. A lot of money. Think about it. Who are these people making a lot of money? You have few Congress people out there shouting the alarm, but there's not enough. That's why I need to get into Congress. That's why I need to be your voice. That's why I need to uncover this corruption, because there has to be accountability. Because what I'm hearing from certain people in Washington, D.C. is that maybe when we win, we need to move on and, let bygones be bygones, heal. Folks, there's no healing without accountability. Because if you don't have accountability, we will have this corruption will just build and eventually ostracize and come out and be even bigger and stronger where we won't be able to control it. We have to crush it while we can. We have to cut out the cancer. We have to make sure that once we win the elections, that's the first step. The next step is then to go out there and start uncovering all of the corruption, start having accountability, hold trials, make sure people go to prison, make sure people are scared that they don't do this again, clean house, get people out, put new blood in there, get the establishment out of the way, because the establishment is part of the problem. Because they are, when they say the deep state, the one thing I'm going to tell you, I learned about something in Congress, folks. When they say the deep state is controlled by both Republicans and Democrats. It's just people that have been in the controlling our government for over the past 40, 50 years combined, and they have just are so convoluted and so corrupted internally and between themselves, and that's why you're sometimes amazed by some of what happens. You're looking at it, you're saying, "Wow, why did these guys vote like that, or what happened?" It's because it's all of the backroom deals. It's all of the shenanigans that they constantly, and that's why one of the things I'm running on is pure transparency. That's one of the things they can't do, because they want to meet behind closed doors. They want to, come out with the unified messages. They want, well, not here, folks. That's why I need you to contribute to my campaign, because what we're going to do, and I'm hoping that I can announce this as soon as my compliance allows me to, but we're going to run a reality show campaign. Where, just like Donald Trump, we're going to give Donald Trump a little taste of his own medicine. He loves ratings. He loves all this. Well, we're going to give him a little bit of that ratings, because we're going to run this campaign and we're going to show the world exactly what it is to run a congressional campaign in Donald Trump's world, and with all the backdoor shenanigans. So stay tuned, and that's why I make sure, and that's why I need your support, not only in my congressional race, because we're fighting huge tidal wave, but also, if you can, the $8 goes a long way, and I promise you, I'll give you more content for that $8 than any cup of coffee or anything you could get. So those are the only two things you will hear from me for going on, except for obviously supporting Ukraine, supporting all of the needy people around the world. But the main two things we are concentrating going forward is our campaign, and if you can, becoming paid subscribers, so we could keep this movement going. Because the only thing I'm asking you, the only thing I need besides being extension of my voice, is helping me put gas in the car, so the car keep going, so we could keep so we could keep moving and going. And that's why some of these things I'm thinking of how to be able to get also where we don't have to depend on anybody else. We could get funding into our platform. By the way, Act Blue, we're going to get into it, Ecovax, but in the meantime, we have no issue. Just so you say, Act Blue is literally just a credit card processor. So it's not, and we're going to get into how they took a knee and everything, but they're a credit card processor, so we have no issues. You could donate on the site, no problem whatsoever, as long as you're an American citizen and you're able to vote. Please make sure go to contribute. But now, I want to, after we're done getting into, I want to get into the major news, what I want to talk to you about. I don't know how many of you got a chance to read my Substack letter that I wrote, put out today, 8 o'clock in the morning. I actually was writing it at 4 o'clock last night. By the way, I want to welcome Thom Hartmann has joined us. I'm going to be going on the Thom Hartmann show today at 1 o'clock. Me and Tom are going to have an incredible conversation. So please make sure all of you that don't follow Tom Hartmann, and make sure you at 1 p.m. Eastern today, I'm going to be on the Thom Hartmann show. Welcome, Tom, and to Lev Remembers and to our campaign. We have a lot to discuss. So Those of you that have got a chance to read my Substack letter, I wrote it like 4 o'clock in the morning. I put it out 8 o'clock today. If you haven't had a chance to read it, I encourage you to go read it. I'm going to go over it with you right now because there's a lot of important stuff to go into over here. So, first of all, the one thing with all of this Iran controversy and constantly the media, the one thing the media is not talking about is the one thing is I'm sounding the alarm, and just like we did with the Epstein files, is Trump's trying to steal the election by election reform. That's what I call it. That's what they call it. That's what their terminology and their words. And what is election reform? It's something that's combined of basically the Save America Act that Donald Trump is pushing to take away certain rights like mail-in voting, making it extremely difficult for individuals to go vote by making sure you have to prove that you are a citizen, not only by having ID, but you have to prove that you're a citizen, which literally, takes the electric down and to be able to stop your vote by also having ICE agents being at polling stations and stuff like that. So one of the things he's even come out and said is he's basically they froze all federal funding. The government basically is in a semi shutdown because until he says the Democrats signed the Save America Act. Now, if the Democrats sign the Save America Act, folks, it's game over. I don't even know what to say. And that's why I need to get into Congress. The quicker, the better, because we cannot even have conversations about these type of Save America acts. The other thing he's doing simultaneously, and this is what I keep talking about, is he has basically a group led by Tulsi Gabbard, our DNI secretary, with our also CIA secretary, and Radcliffe and others that are working strategically into reshaping of the 2020 elections, and also of and the DOJ also, and the FBI with Kash Patel, the same group of people, the same characters, the same unusual suspects like that movie, and Lauren, Hakeem Jeffries does not have the balls, and Hakeem Jeffries is the establishment. Him, Schumer, enough is enough, folks. I'm going to tell you, I'm not running on a division, but somebody mentioned Hakeem Jeffries. That is the establishment. This is why we are in the problem we are. We need fresh blood. We need Democrats in there that are willing to stand up, fight for our rights, to fight for your voices, stand up to that, not be scared to what be out there every single day. And people like Jeffries and Schumer, at some time they were good, whatever, but they all have to go. Exactly, they all have to go. We just like we're trying to get fresh start. We need to use this opportunity to make a lot of changes, and not just with the Democrats. We need more people like Ro Khanna in there. We need more people like Crockett in there. We need more people. We need fighters in there. We need people. We need people more like Jamie Raskins, Moskowitz's, Goldman's. We need people in there that are not scared, and we don't need any more of these guys or women or men that have made these have been there for 40 years, made all these deals, and now are trying to run things behind the scenes in these closed door meetings. Enough is enough. We want everything in the open. It's the people's house. Remember that. It's the people's house. There should be nothing. And that's why when people say, everything should be in the open. Nowadays, everything should be televised. There should be no backdoor meetings. We should know everybody, all the conversations you're having. And that's what I'm bringing to Congress. And if I'm successful in doing what I'm planning on doing, oh boy, are they going to be in for a surprise. You're not even ready for it. So folks, please, right now, number one thing is continue supporting the Lev Parnas.org, because I have some plans for them. You're not ready, but we need to build a war chest because they're doing it already. So let's get into my Substack letter of today. It's basically says breaking news, folks. The FBI seized Arizona election records. So a lot of you, I don't know if you saw the news because it hasn't been on virtually anywhere. There's little tickers here and there. But yesterday, the FBI seized and is now in possession of elected-related records connected to Arizona, one of the states that is central in Donald Trump's task. Now, Donald Trump yesterday retweeted. So John Solomon, if you remember that name, John Solomon was somebody that worked with me. He's from The Hill, then worked for Fox, and now he has his own reporting. So he reported on it that the The FBI secretly seizes election records from Arizona's largest county as the voting probe continues. A grand jury subpoena comes after Arizona Senate raised concerns dating to 2020, and the FBI learned of a congressional report from 2024. So Donald Trump retweeted that and said, "Great. FBI secretly seized election records from Arizona's largest county as voting probe expands." And this is extremely important, folks, because this is part two and out of part one. Remember, part one, a lot of us forget because there's so much news going on. That's why I'm going to be here to make sure connecting the dots and giving you the insider look is don't forget what has transpired. Just about a month and a half ago, we had the same thing happen in Georgia. We had the FBI raid Georgia, take all the records, but in Georgia, they slipped up because all of a sudden, Tulsi Gabbard showed up. And we were able to dig in to find out what Tulsi Gabbard was. And as I've been telling you for the past month and a half, we're the only channel. Nobody else is talking about this. That's why I need your voice as loud as possible, because when they break the news and when it's going to be, we're not going to allow it to say too late, because we are going to make a difference. This is one of the main reasons I'm running for Congress, because it's right now every congressperson should be and every senator should be out there saying, no way, we're not going to, Donald Trump, don't you even think. Don't you even think. Republicans, Democrats, don't you even think about talking about federalizing our elections or going into certain states to make sure you're going to count exactly Michigan, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Minnesota. All of these are right now states that are gearing that they're going to start looking into and part of it. But the dangerous part about it, and that's even more dangerous than just what the rewriting of history and the way they're looking to it, is what they're trying to use this for the new elections. They're trying to do two things. A, use it to show that because there was corruption in their way, and because if they could prove and show that they that there was fraud, then Donald Trump is going to use that, and the GOP and his minions in Congress and Senate, which they still control till this day, are going to push for changes to be made for our elections coming up in the midterms. This is another one of his ways of trying to steal the election and stay in power forever. But what else is happening behind the scenes, and that the Washington Post reported on, something I've been talking about with you guys for over a month, is that Tulsi Gabbard, the reason why she's involved is because they're trying to add a component to this. Foreign interference component, but not Russia, that we all know that Russia interfered in all our elections. But now they're adding the component that it was China. That China interfered specifically in Georgia and other states. And the reason why they're doing it is because, as Washington Post reported, that if they're able to prove that there was foreign interference by a foreign corrupt government into our elections, Donald Trump doesn't need to invoke the Insurrection Act. He doesn't need to put troops on the ground. He could do it with his pen by basically signing a presidential order saying that because of the fraud, that now federalizing certain states, and again, not all the states, certain states which are Democratic states, which states that he lost, which states he needs to win, which states that that he wants to steal, he will be able to invoke certain rules of how it is how you're able to vote, but not only how you're able to vote. That's not the worst part, folks. You know what the worst part of it all is? Not how you're able to vote, but how your vote will be counted. Because that's even more scary and more important that I want you to know. So as this is going on, and as Donald Trump is talking about, pushing his Save America Act, at the same time they're talking about, Tulsi Gabbard. They've invaded and took over Arizona's election records. These things are probably more important than anything going on, even though, and I want to make it clear, I'm not trying to minimize the war. I'm not trying to, Alexander joined us, our brother. Everybody shout out to Alexander. He just got back from delivering some incredible stuff. We'll be posting it later once he sends me the videos. But Alexander, get some rest. I know you've been killing it, and I know you have a lot coming up. So I want to shout out everybody, send our love out to Alexander for all that he does for the Ukrainian people. True true hero, and somebody that needs all the accomplishment. I love you, brother. I got to get on a conference call soon. So I want to, before we end off, I want to talk about also what happened. Not only I want you to sound alarm. So very importantly, I need you to sound alarm with this election reform, whatever they want to call it. I need you to call every congressional person in Congress and Senate. We can't allow this. It's right. What's happening right now is what I call is the snowball effect. So basically, Donald Trump took a little snowball and he's starting to roll it, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's picking up steam. We need to crush that snowball before it gets even further because it's election tampering. That's right, Kelly. So the only way we could do it is if we let our voices be heard. We need the wolf pack to unleash right now. We need each and every one of you, and that's what I'm telling you, a call to action. Because while the media is concentrating on Iran and while Donald Trump is manipulating our markets, and while there's lives being lost across, we need to stop this. And the only way we could stop it is we have two ways. We could stop this by with the Epstein files, which we're doing. Just think about it. They might not be reporting on it, but as I told you in the very beginning, their Zora Ranch is being looked at. A lot of the stuff that Howard Lutnick is doing is being looked at. A lot of the stuff also, keep in mind, is being prepared to when we take office and when there's accountability. Just think about me sitting on the other side with Jamie Raskin, with others like Moskowitz and like Crockett and others, questioning them, but now not only questioning them, but now also having the facts, the receipts. Because remember one thing, there's a lot of people running for Congress, but there's nobody running in Congress or Senate that not only knows these people like me, but has the receipts like me. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity for the people of the United States to be able to have somebody like me to get into there and to be able to help you clean house. And that is why I ask each and every one of you and pass this message and explain this is a national race. This is a race for our democracy, and there's only one Lev Parnas. You remember, I'm the guy he sent to Ukraine. I'm the guy that was in the belly of the beast. I'm the one that was around all of them. So this is not just about one person or one state or one district. This is about what would you call it? A disease, a cancer that's been infiltrated into our society. The division is incredible. My campaign is about unification, and that's why I want each and every one of you to join us and support the campaign. Also, give you some updates. What is also happening around the world that is important, and that has to do with because there's other things that I'm hearing Donald Trump is planning on doing. I know we've all heard about the Cuba invasion. That's going to happen, folks. It's just a matter of time. I've been speaking to people on the other side. This is in all reality, is going to be a win for Donald Trump. And I'm going to tell you what it is, because again, I can't. Let me rephrase it. With him, he could, hurt himself in a closet, a locked closet. So I'm not going to say it's a win, but what I'm hearing in the talks of Cuba basically is because Cuba doesn't really have any way to sustain themselves. They don't have oil. They're not enriched with any minerals. Cuba, they're trying to figure out a way to basically make Cuba the 51st state or another, place like Puerto Rico or something like that. That's the conversation that's taking place over there. Also, there's elections taking place right now. They're going to be taking place in Colombia, which is extremely important because, what's happening in our Western Hemisphere, as you can see, it's our home. It's something that Donald Trump is completely trying to take over. And just think about what he's done in Venezuela. In Venezuela, he is now partnered with literally, and he says it, I'm partners with Delcy Rodriguez. Just a few months ago, Donald Trump and his administration would call this a narco-terrorist organization. And that's why he called the Delcy organization. But now, because they are working with him, because oil is $100 a barrel, because they're, like he said, flowing. Ecuador also is on the map because, as you saw in Ecuador, a great note of Ecuador, because you saw the drug trafficking. They're trying to say they raided Ecuador. I think it was a few weeks ago. All of these countries are in play because of Donald Trump is basically trying to make it his background, America's background, and turn the Western Hemisphere. And you hear him talk about how he says this is the Western Hemisphere is ours, and we have to make sure control it. But the crazy part is, if you take a look, there's nothing happening, and this is why it's important. Donald Trump is and I talk about all of Donald Trump and all of the people running in the GOP. They all have become theatrics. It's all theatrics, folks. It's not a matter of actually getting something done. For Donald Trump, stopping a war is not actually when there's peace and when there's some kind of resolution and for people to be able to live again. It's for him to make an announcement for that 24-hour news cycle that there was no bombs fall. That's Donald Trump's understanding, stopping a war. Donald Trump one day comes to you for every day, for how many days? Just think about Donald Trump ran his campaign and would talk to you every day about gas prices. Drill, baby, drill. Remember, drill, baby, drill. Drill, baby, drill. Gas, oil. Gas is going down. Gas has never been so cheaper. Just literally 2 weeks ago, he was saying gas is at under $2 a barrel. Here we are. 2 weeks later, gas is at all-time high, folks, and it's only getting higher. And there's no Donald Trump. So I want you to understand what we're dealing with. And you're dealing with a group of people that don't have plans. That's why they invaded, what's it called? Iran, because they don't have a plan. That's why he came out yesterday and said, oh, we're going to end this war earlier. And then today you have Hexek and everybody else coming out saying, no, this war is just beginning. Just think about how could he possibly end this war earlier? Just think about think about what we went through in Iraq. We learned our lesson. He ran his campaign about this. His own base it can't stand this. And that is why I say, just think about with all of these things, and this is why I'm going to leave you off on this before I give you my message. But I want to say to you, which is very important, why our campaign is so important. Because with all of this that he has been going on and doing, with all of this craziness, from starting wars, sending ICE, Gestapo, destroying our economy, tariffs, blowing up our gas prices, taking over, partnering up with narco regimes, killing people in the streets in broad daylight. With all of this, and with a margin as small as one seat, the way we have it, we can't get a few Republicans to get on with us to stop the craziness that's going on, to issue subpoenas, not just one subpoena for Pam Bondi because they got really upset with the way she acted or responded to him, but actually start holding accountable, start maybe talking about impeaching him, his own Republican. We can't get of two Republicans. This is what we come to. If you remember when I joined this platform, we were talking about getting 4, 6. We're down to 2. We're down to a majority of 1. Literally, because we have no leadership. We have no leadership. And that is why I'm running for District 27 in Florida. That is why I'm running for each and every one of you that lives around the country. And this is why it's a national race. Because right now, if I was in Congress, right now, I would, just like you see my passion here, every day I would be knocking on every one of their doors. I would be harassing them. I would be on their case every day until I got 1 or 2 of these Congress people to agree, because this is common sense. This is about humanity. But you know what they do? Once they get into Congress, they all of a sudden, they're on vacation. Just think about how many vacation days Congress had. And think about this. Just because the Republicans won't have Congress, it doesn't mean that the Democrats or Hakeem Jeffries or Schumer don't have phones or can't stop working. It doesn't mean that if you don't show up Washington, you don't start working. I work 24/7. You know what I'm saying to you? You still could be calling the other side and talking and pitching and making sure to be able to do, because that's what it's all about. It's constant conversation. It's constant debate. It's constant until you can win over the other side, just like we do here. Think about all the debating we do with the other side. This is what they should be doing, but they don't do it. They do it for show. Congress has become a show. They get paid vacations exactly on our money. And or when they do put on a show, when they are in session, they go on the floor and they do their 2 hour speeches, 24-hour speeches, and uh, that's like, that's a show. They're all showmen. They're written there, but there's no account. There's nothing action being happened. And I'm sick and tired of it. And if you're sick and tired of it, then go right now to levparnas.org and contribute. And I want to end off on this because I got to run. We have our weekly call with my team. I want to give you some updates. We have a lot of things happening. Like I said, the campaign's only 5 days old. I want to make sure that for those of you that are joining late, and for those of you that might have missed my opening statement, I want to, first of all, thank all of you and everybody for your support, for your donations, contributions to our campaign, for all your paid subscribers, for all your little messages, for going out there and not just being passive listeners, but actually being volunteers, joining the team, spreading the message, doing everything you can, because it's going to take each and every one of us to be able to take our democracy back. It's going to take each and every one of us to get back into Congress. It's going to take each and every one of us to win. And so to be able to do that, I've decided to run for Congress. So I want to clear up a lot of misunderstandings that some might have, because when I started Lev Remembers, this is my home. But we also have Voice from Ukraine that we do here for Alexander to help the people of Ukraine, and and anybody else. And we also have our platform here is to talk truth to power about the Epstein survivors and anything else uncovering the corruption. That is not going to change. That is my business, and that is something that we built something special with each and every one of you, and that is why that is what you pay your $8 or whatever, or becoming a lifetime subscriber, whatever those different things are. That is how you support me, my family, and my business. That has nothing to do with my campaign. And everybody could become a paid subscriber. As long as you could afford it, you could become a paid subscriber. It doesn't matter where you live around the world. It's a great way to do a couple of things. A, it supports me, but B, it also allows these algorithms to grow tremendously. So when I come out here and we're going to be bringing bombs, and I mean, not actual bombs, but, because you got to be careful what they say. But when I'm going to be coming out here and throwing incredible breaking news and using now the platform on a national campaign, we needed to grow as quick and as fast as possible. And all the specialists tell me the best way to do it is for you guys to restack them, for you guys to leave a message, hit the heart buttons, like it. All of these things are algorithms, becoming paid subscribers. All of these things important, and not just here on Substack. I ask you to become my followers everywhere, wherever platform I decide to be on, because the fight is not only here on Substack. Here on Substack, we have more of a community that is united under the. We have some that are out there, but majority of us here are united on saving our democracy and truth. But we're going to take this fight to them on other platforms like X, like YouTube, like Twitter. I mean, like TikTok, and all of these, just like Donald Trump used, and just like they're all using to be able to flood, because that is where it takes. And that costs not only money, which is why we need the campaign, but also it takes support from each and every one of you to go out there and open these accounts, become my followers, grow them, become my voices, because that's where the fights are really going to become. Because here, you're really not fighting. I'm going to need you to be responding to them, and this is where you could really help and volunteer and become part of that. So I need each and every one of you to go out there and open accounts on all these other platforms. And make sure you follow me on all the platforms, and support, like, and click all that I'm doing all over the place, because the fight is beginning. Some of this stuff is still in play, where the team is still being built. We've only 5 days into it. I promise you, by the end of the month, we are going to be a full steam locomotive that is not going to be able to get stopped. quick notes, I forgot to tell you about Act Blue. For those of you that are joining us late, I broke the news yesterday, and today Act Blue has basically taken a knee to Donald Trump. If you remember, when I came to this platform, I one of the first breaking news that I shared with you was that Donald Trump was going to go after the money, the financing, to be able to try to stop, because he understands that you need money to win races, you need money to be able to fight races. It's like you need gas in your car to drive. It's a simple thing, even though some of us overlook it and think that's not the most important thing. But I'm always honest with you. So Donald Trump went after Act Blue, George Soros, and all of these ways, trying to connect them to Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and try to say that these were stuff. He actually, after I reported it, if you remember, he actually went and had Pam Bondi open up an investigation into Act Blue. So now, fast forwarded, here we are, and Act Blue yesterday basically denied being my credit card processor. Just think about it. They make a lot of money off of this. They make a lot of money. Act Blue, just so you understand, makes a lot of money from processing your donations, your contributions. So here you go. They have turned me down because of Donald Trump. And just think about it. It's crazy, and that because they are part of the establishment. This is what we're dealing with, folks. And but I want you to understand, I'm not upset for a second. I'm actually, you see, I'm laughing. I'm happy because we don't need Act Blue. We don't need anybody. They can't stop this locomotion because we're just getting started. And I want you to know that you could go to lev.org, levparnas.org, and contribute. And it works. We're processing beautiful. Everything is great, and we're moving full steam ahead. But I want to make sure, for those of you that are contributing to levparnas.org, you have to be an American citizen. You have to be able to be legally able to vote. For those of you that have by mistake contributed, and you might live in Canada or you're not sure, please contact us at lev. PTTP at proton.me. And if you have donated by accident and you shouldn't have, we will get you your money back because we want to make sure we're compliant and everything. For those of you that haven't yet donated, please go to levparnas.org. For those of you that have already, continue doing it, keep spreading it, keep sending it around to as many people. We're only getting started. And remember, what scares them the most is March coming in, and I want to make it very clear because, like I said, we're going to run a transparent campaign here, and not only with cameras but also truth. So one of the important things why right now these contributions matter more than anything is because in March, we're going to have to put up the numbers and who raised what, and that's a big step in not only being able to actually run the campaign, but also will have a lot to do with who stays in the campaign and who continues going. And we're going to have a primary here in Florida, August 18th. We have about 4 other candidates that are in the Democratic race, and all 4 candidates, including myself, are brand new candidates that have never held an office. But the only difference between all of us is I'm the only one that knows Donald Trump. I'm the only one that knows Pam Bondi and all of these people. I'm the only one that's been assigned, and I'm the only one that could go in there and be able to dismantle it and actually bring change to our democracy. They might be more clean cut, they might have better resumes, but none of them could go them. All of them are basically establishment candidates that if you want to get another Hakeem Jeffries on the ballot or another Chuck Schumer on the ballot, this is what they're putting in there, and that's Florida District 27. I feel confident that we are not going to have an issue, that the race is going to be run in November between myself and Maria Salazar, and we are going to win that race. But in the meantime, we are going to have a primary. So keep in mind. So this is part of politics. I'm learning it, but we're going to be able to go out there and get our democracy back. So, folks, I want to thank you. I'm probably going to be going out later tonight, giving you an update on everything because there's just so much things happening right now and breaking. And make sure at 1 o'clock, go watch me. I'm Tom Hartman. I'll be joining Tom on 1 p.m. on his network to discuss my campaign and some of the other breaking news. But till then, have an incredible day. Continue doing what you're doing. Shout out to all my Wolf Pack, to all of you. Love you guys. We're only getting started, and keep going. Take care. Have a great day. God bless you. God bless America. God bless each and every one of you.